Hey everyone, and welcome to the 100th episode of We're All in the Same Boat.
We did it,
I'm your host, Luke
gang.
Roxwold, and today we are talking about all things that we've done on this podcast, and we're going to have a lot of fun today, and then maybe get into a couple other topics if we have time. Today, I am here with Michael.
Hi, it's me.
Shayne.
Hola.
And Nick.
Fireball.
We did it! 100 episodes!
We did it.
Yay.
I'm drinking this Fireball whiskey
We
and
are
it hurts,
still
but it's
in
worth
the
it.
boat. The boat is
We
still
haven't
afloat.
sank yet!
We plugged a lot of holes.
Hashtag the boat that floats.
Yes. Okay. So, welcome everyone to the podcast.
Howdy.
We started this podcast more than 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
When did I join?
We don't know, Nick.
I think your first episode.
Yeah,
was
'cause
in
you were
January.
on quite a bit before like you became official.
Yeah, you just were a guest randomly a lot.
I don't remember. I know
was
that
good.
there was the January of 2018. I think was like when you first started kind of helping out.
But
Just
I was
jumping
still
on.
pretty sporadic before I got like
Yeah.
a square on the logo. I'm still pretty sporadic, let's be honest.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
I've been way more consistent lately, but yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, but so what a crazy journey. 2 years of doing this, more than 2 years, 100
Whoa,
episodes.
snap.
did it.
We are getting an average of 270 listens a month. That's like
Nice.
from starting from the beginning of getting 7 listens. So we've
Nice.
grown.
Pathetic
It feels
fools.
great.
Woo.
Ever since
I
Nick joined
remember-
the podcast, it's been great.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. I feel like when we first started that you just had to get over the fact that you're going to put the episode out and no one's going to
And
listen
no one's
to it.
gonna listen or do it. Yeah,
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember like the first
that's the hardest thing to accept. At the
yeah,
beginning.
I think the first probably I don't know 30 episodes only got like 10 to 15 listens or something, you know, and so it is steadily growing. Thanks to you guys, thanks to me, thanks to
Thanks,
the world,
Mom.
thanks to the
And
listeners,
two,
whatever.
what I've learned like just in my study of like marketing stuff lately is that a lot more people will be more inclined to listen or to subscribe when they see you have a bunch of content. If they see you only
Yeah.
have like 3 things, they're like, I don't want to invest my time into this. But
Well, if you're like a magazine, if there was a magazine, it was like, dude, you should subscribe to our magazine.
yeah,
And it's like
you
you
should.
have 3 magazines that have come out over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
What am I subscribing to?
Yeah,
Like,
what am I
don't know.
subscribing
You
to?
should-
Exactly.
You just should do it. It's just because. Why not?
So thanks for the people who have listened
Thank
from
you.
the first episode, because I know
Yeah.
some of you still exist.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
one
some
of them.
some of you guys are quiet. I know some of our listeners talk more. Some of us like will message me or message the Instagram and be involved. But we have a lot of quiet listeners because I'll talk to somebody and then they'll tell me, "Oh yeah, I listen like every week." I'm like, really? I didn't know you'd even listen to one.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, some
I had
people
no
randomly
idea.
like reference my podcast like in front of me. I didn't even know they knew I had one.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're like, "Oh,
Like
you
they'll
said
quote
this on
it?
your podcast." They'll like if we talk about something, like, "Oh yeah, you said that on your podcast," or they'll be like, "Oh, listen to your podcast." And
You're
I
like,
thought
that's
this.
right. Wait,
Like,
listen to the.
Dang.
Which one?
A lot of people have started, or sorry, I said a lot of people have stopped the podcast. A lot of people have joined. A lot of things have happened since we first started.
been shaking and baking.
Rest in peace, John and Brent. They're alive. They didn't
Oh my
die.
goodness. They are
But
alive.
you know,
yes.
Brent's wife moved.
Brent had a
She's from
baby.
Ireland, and so she moved here. So he stopped, and then eventually had a baby. So congratulations. to
I
Congratulations.
him.
like Brent. He was very
And then-
outspoken.
Brent is awesome, yeah. Brent's
Yeah,
cool.
I miss it. We're gonna
Me
bring up a
too.
couple of the older episodes, and
Heck
some of
yeah.
the energy that was in those discussions that we got into was because of Brent. So he was good.
me and Brent
then-
were always on the same side.
Never on my side. Like that's where it started. Not being on my side. Like first Shayne was on Brent's side, but then Brent left. So then Shayne was like, "Well, I'll just keep staying against Luke because why not?"
You gotta have
That's
the-
literally everyone, though. Everyone,
Yeah.
no one agrees
I
with
know,
you,
I
Luke,
know.
usually.
I get
No,
it.
Michael
I get it.
sides with Luke quite a bit.
So-
well,
I'm
it's
usually
Mike.
the guy in
Come
the
on,
middle
guys.
at least.
If it's
Yeah,
not
true.
something Michael's passionate about, he's on my side. But as soon as
Yeah.
it's like Star Wars or something like that,
yeah.
that's a whole nother.
That's
If I don't
true.
care, I'm like, yeah, Luke could be right on this one, guys. Let him have it. But I'm like, no, this is me.
I'll take pity on him. It's fine. So then the other person that we lost was John. He had a lot of life stuff going on, and so he left. But he was the guy who was always quiet, and then he would slip in a little comment, and it would
It'd be really funny.
kill all of us. You know, make us all die laughing.
He left because I farted in his car on the way to North Carolina.
What?
We were driving. It was a brand new car, and like I to be fair, I opened the window and I lifted my butt off the seat and I farted. He's like, dude, what the heck, man? I was like, what? He's like, you just farted in my brand new car? I was like, yeah. He's like, I haven't even farted in here yet. Like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't fart in the seat. It's like, it's too late. It's already embedded.
Oh my gosh. That must have been rank, dude. That must have been some rank
it wasn't
stuff.
that bad. It was just like a normal like toot. Anyway,
I remember we caught all that stuff in the episode. It's like you were trying to get back at him because he wouldn't let you have an apple. Because there was in the car, he had no napkins, and so he had all these apples in the car. And then Michael's like, "Can I have one of those apples?" He's like, "No, I don't have any napkins, so no."
Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm glad John's off the podcast.
That's right.
John, I love you.
I didn't really like them this time.
I miss both of them, really. But then we were joined by Nick. Welcome. He's been with us since we don't even know when.
Welcome, Nick. He's been here.
I think my first episode was Logan Paul.
Yeah, I remember that was the first of that year. So like January of
2018.
That was my first appearance.
As a guest or as a...
Yeah, I don't remember when you started.
As a male?
Yeah, as a guest, yeah.
After
as a man.
The transition.
As a male, LOL.
I could probably try and figure it out, but I don't care.
Yeah, whenever the Logan Paul thing happened, it was literally that week. So you
it was the first episode.
Trace it back for me.
Had over 60 episodes, one a week from the beginning without missing a week. So it was over a year of episodes, not missing a single one.
That's actually impressive. I'm not going to lie.
Slave labor,
really
y'all.
Proud of that. Hey, I'm the only one who's been on every single episode.
That's true.
I wonder why.
True.
Well, I mean...
Well, I think I've missed maybe 2.
I didn't have you guys do anything that I didn't do.
Yeah.
To be
That's
fair,
what I'm
Luke, you're the one that uploads it, so even if you weren't on it, you could still be on it. Like, you could edit your voice in later.
When it...
He's like,
you guys are
commentating on everything.
You guys are having a conversation, and there's like a 2-second pause, and I have like 2 sentences worth of things to say.
Oh yeah, Luke's
and so
here.
I just record myself saying like, "Well, I think my video needs to say really quick," and try and squeeze it in the spaces between the conversation.
Try and do your plug in 20 seconds
I can
or less.
move around and talk with my hands. I'm at a stand-up desk, by the way, listeners. That's
Dude, what kind of standing desk did you get?
He sent a picture in the group chat.
Oh.
I don't even know what the brand was, but it's got a little button on here that it's like a dentist chair. Where it's like, and then it'll just go up.
That's cool.
That's BA. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Where'd you get it from?
Amazon.
No, okay.
The whole concept of carrying furniture around is just, I hate it. I just don't.
Trust me, bringing this desk home that I got was a struggle.
It takes all day.
A struggle.
It's like I'm gonna get a desk and I have to rent a car, and then I have to rent a person, to get someone to carry it with me. It's just such a hassle. And then you scratch something, you break things.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It takes 8 hours of the day,
it's not
however
even worth
long.
It. You should just return it now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not returning it.
So I wanted to talk about some of our favorite moments from the podcast. We got.
Well, this is going to be a
lots of
short
episodes.
episode.
Okay.
LOL.
Okay. Well, outro.
It would have been great if we should have brought on some guests that have been on.
Yeah, it would have been awesome to have John
cool.
and Brent come back.
Yeah.
They're just too busy. They're living their lives. What a bunch of nerds living their lives.
Babies.
They're never going to hear this.
I think I should tell them that we mentioned them in this episode.
You should.
Yeah, they should come back for the next episode, honestly.
I think it'd be fun to have them on for certain.
Yeah.
One time or something.
Episode.
Ooh. Got it.
What should we talk about? Should we talk about dogs on that episode?
I guess so.
Only dogs. And let's intensely argue.
Dude, I meet a lot of cool dogs at my job right now. So it's like I go customer's house installing doors, and I take pictures of all the dogs and send them to Leanne. It's awesome.
Wait, you sell doors?
I install doors. I don't sell them.
Oh, okay.
Going door to door, selling doors.
You go up to a door.
Oh, sir. See this door? I will replace it.
You're a door-to-door door salesman, and so you go up and to knock on their door, and if it makes no noise, you're like, I should sell them a door.
Just bust it down, break it on your way in. Just, sir, did you see how easily your door fell down?
I see, noticed your door is not working properly.
And I'm like, hey, there's no door here. Do you need a door? They're like, yes, I do.
No.
Anyway,
You kick
Supply
the door
and demand,
in
my
and look,
friend.
sir, this door is
works
weak.
every time.
You clearly need this new door. I can install it for you right now.
Yeah, man. So let's get into these moments.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want you guys to think about it a little bit about what different episodes you liked,
So,
and if
I already
you have any
have-
Oh,
I have two
I
favorite
might
moments
not-
from the same episode.
really, okay,
might
go
not
for
know
it.
the
There's so
specific
many
episode.
episodes, so it's like
I have to look back.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I,
So this
I
is
have
from,
I have little one. There's ones that stand out though, and when I bring them up, you guys are going to definitely remember it.
Ooh,
This is from
I'm excited.
let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th episode. Our Spider-Man Homecoming review.
Oh goodness.
One,
Oh dang!
Brent.
The first Spider-Man episode.
Yeah, the very first of many.
goodness.
It's two things. The first one was Brent brought up like this kid who like, so you can legally like leave your baby at like a fire department doorstep.
Yes,
And they can
which
adopt
is
it or whatever.
crazy.
Or take it to the orphanage. And there was a 13-year-old kid in Florida whose dad left him on the doorstep.
I remember this
Because he didn't want him
I
anymore.
remember this.
And then Brent was like, yeah, like, dude, he's going to be so messed up. Like, in the future, he's going to be talking to a girl. And he's like, oh, what's wrong? He's like, oh, my dad hates me. Oh, you don't know that. Like, yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah, he's like, oh, my dad hates me. How do you know? And he goes, you don't know that. Oh, yeah, frick, I kind of do. He left me at the doorstep of the fire department.
He had 13 years to decide he didn't like me.
It's so funny. It's just like
amazing.
a 13-year-old, like, I'm not digging this kid. I'll just leave him at the.
But my second favorite moment, it didn't stay in the podcast, but so I was, at the time I was recording on my
Oh,
iPad.
no!
And I was on Discord with my phone. And I had to pee. So I just grabbed my iPad and my phone with me to the bathroom. And I like,
yes.
peed. And it was like the loudest pee I've ever peed in my life. It was a 45
The
second long pee.
longest
Wait,
pee.
I have a question. Wait, can
Is
I
it
ask
on
a
the
question
recording?
about this pee? Wait, can I ask a question?
yeah.
No,
Michael,
but it was
no,
on
I'm
the
sorry.
recording.
Like,
What?
Yeah, wait.
Oh,
I'll get that,
so
Nick.
We'll go
Wait,
back for
Shayne,
Shayne, go ahead.
I have a question. So,
Yeah.
like, if this is TMI, you don't have to answer it. But when you pee, you don't like pee against the seat. You pee like into the water, so it makes all the noise.
I mean, it depends on the situation.
Yeah,
If-
because that's
There's
how
a
you
strategy
assert.
to it.
because
That's
yeah,
how you
I mean,
assert dominance.
if I'm peeing in someone else's house, I'm trying to be
It's
quiet.
true.
I'll pee on the walls of the toilet. But if I'm just peeing in my
Yeah.
house, like I'm just gonna like I don't even like aim. I just like
Blam.
release
Oh.
and go.
Yeah, I mastered the art of peeing while on the phone, so like I know how to.
Well,
do all
plus,
the
what I did was I
You
muted
have to sit down.
I muted Discord so they couldn't hear me, but I was still recording.
Yeah, but they're
And
recording.
afterwards, I
Yeah,
told Luke, I
that's
was like,
funny.
hey, at this time, I even gave him like timestamps. So this time and this time, I was peeing that whole time. So you take it out. I was like, all right, cool, I got it. And then he didn't. And the next day, I'm listening to the podcast, and I just hear like Shayne's on a rant about how like Mary Jane is like not the same or something like that, and I just hear like.
No,
For like-
and it was
That's
like
what I've never heard of.
40 seconds.
40
It was so
seconds.
long, and so I didn't hear it. I don't remember.
I didn't hear it either when I listened to it.
Oh, that's
Actually,
hilarious.
before I give my side of this story, Michael, Shayne, what were you gonna ask?
I asked him.
Oh, sorry, you
About-
asked
about the pee.
the
Yeah,
seat.
yeah,
Yeah,
about
got
the
it.
pee,
Okay. Okay, so I don't remember what happened exactly, but I don't remember you telling me that. I don't know if I just didn't hear it. It was one of those things where I maybe thought. I think I thought you meant you left the room, or I don't know. Somehow it just didn't register. I think you said, "Hey, I peed at this time and this time," and my brain
You're
was like,
cool.
okay, cool." You know, it didn't
bad.
register that like, oh, it's in the recording. I have to get rid of it now, right? I
Makes sense.
just didn't click with me. And so the next day I'm at work. This is episode 5. I'm at work and I've edited the whole episode. I've uploaded it. I'm at work listening to the podcast, and part of me starts to hear what's happening. You know, I hear the noises, the toilet seat going up, and then like
It's distinct.
I hear it all happening, right? And there's part of me going, maybe, like,
Every man knows
maybe-
the sound.
oh no, I was going to say, I was
Every
like,
man knows.
maybe it's not that obvious. And like 30 seconds in, it's like, this is so obvious.
He texted
So I
me,
had
he's like, Michael,
to, yeah, I know, I was so mad. I was like, that's,
you peed on the podcast.
Do you have that original recording?
yeah, somewhere.
Dude, you got
But,
to
it,
post
but
it, man.
here's the
That-
thing.
you
So
should
I
post that
took
on
the
Instagram.
episode and I updated the audio so that it didn't have that
Yeah, it's
anymore.
gone now. Makes you sad.
You should
But I have
post
it. I have the audio
Yeah.
somewhere. I sent it to Michael.
Yeah.
Post it on Instagram, please.
Ooh.
So I can repost it.
Do it.
That's so funny. I forgot about that. Shayne, what about you? Do you have one? I have some if you guys don't have any, but I want to give you guys a chance first.
I mean, yeah, there's lots of things. One of my favorites is the never ending or the never completed story of Michael about the old man in the car, or what, I don't even remember what the story was.
You broke the eagle beak off.
Yes. Remember the story, and you would never finish it, like every episode. I know, but I'm saying it took you like 50 episodes to finish the story. It was like always like, I'm not going to finish it. And then 5 episodes would go by, it would get brought back up. And it's like, oh yes, we're going to finish it. And then it didn't end. I'm like,
yeah, it was like
wait,
this elaborate story where Michael's like, I hydroplaned my car and I drove into someone's yard and they broke the beak off of their wooden eagle.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I'm like,
it's like when he's telling this story, it was the most like, what? How does this story end? And
he never finished it?
No,
the funniest part,
started telling
you're a bad person.
The funniest part of that story is when you hydroplaned, you crashed, and you hit the eagle and it broke the eagle beak off. And then the guy who lived there came out and was like, hey, are you okay? And you said, part of me was really disappointed that he saw me because now I was like,
it was somebody across the street. They saw me.
Right. But you basically were like,
yeah.
You're like, I'm partially disappointed that they saw me because now I can't leave.
Yeah. I was just going to go and I looked up and someone was just looking at me and I'm like, well, damn it.
Caught.
That is the worst feeling when you like look around and you notice someone's just staring at you and you're like, well, I'm stuck here.
Happens all the time.
Just go back to the last few episodes, or not last few, like 2 years ago, and piece them together.
Oh yeah, the last few.
A lot of these are like really early episodes. We had some really good early episodes.
Yeah,
it's been all downhill since.
A lot of this.
Well, we got more structured now, and more people listen now.
Go back and check out like the backlogs, guys. Understand?
Yeah, the first 10 episodes
when it's raw
are pretty funny. They're just us like being fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Nick, I know since you're newer, you don't have as much of a catalog of things to go through. Do you have anything that you remember from the podcast that you specifically liked?
Your homecoming review and your gun control.
Oh no, I mean of you being in it.
Oh my goodness, the gun control.
I was just gonna say before I get into like my personal favorite that I was in, my favorite of your guys is before going back was the homecoming and the gun control podcast, in my opinion.
Gosh, that gun control episode did so well. So many people listen to that.
It was it's still a big subject. Like people will still come back to that. And then for me personally, our review of Us, because I don't really remember it because I got so drunk for that podcast, and everyone could tell. Like on that podcast,
you told us.
I told myself I am never doing that again because that was embarrassing because I just kept laughing constantly.
It's so funny.
Yeah, you were laughing and like yelling.
When you get like that, if you're drinking too much, it's one thing if you're at like the bar, because you could be the loud, obnoxious, over laughing guy, but you're at the bar. So the next day you're just like, oh, it was fun. But when you record it and put it on an episode, you go back and listen to it and you're like, yeah,
I was like, never again. Even though I'm drinking Fireball whiskey right now, just to celebrate, but just because that was so annoying. But it's one of my favorite memories because I look back and I'm just like, yep, I'm going to always remember that.
Oh, you're like that guy.
Oh, you.
And honestly, like every podcast I do with you guys is fun. I'm out here in Colorado, so
that's so sweet.
I'm so different than y'all.
Coloradan. I was in Washington, so I was even further at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, there's so many different episodes.
Can we talk about that? Can we please talk about this time struggle?
Just understanding what time we are.
We are in 4 different places, all recording through Discord. Like, someone give us credit.
Like syncing up schedules and like making sure it all worked, and we were accommodating for everyone. Y'all, tough stuff.
Yeah, but we did it. That's what's so cool.
Yeah.
Like we got through it, and we got to 100 episodes. And it didn't take us like 5 years to do.
Yeah.
Even though we had like the hiccups of trying to get schedules, and some people could make it and some people couldn't, topics, like we've done a lot of different things to keep this thing organized. And the fact that we've released this many episodes is really cool.
Yeah. I agree.
But I wanted to say that there's a lot of different episodes that I remember. And some of them I have to go back and re-listen to them. But I remember almost all of our controversial topic episodes I remember really enjoying. So like the Colin Kaepernick one.
Ooh, that was a good one.
I thought that was a really good episode. I remember, I think the Serena Williams one was really good.
Oh, yeah.
The controversial ones are always great. Those are
Yeah,
always
and then we
favorite.
talked about EpiPens. I think I remember that one being kind of good. Like all these ones where we have like a topic like that, I've always kind of enjoyed those.
I can't.
And then all of our movie reviews are good. I think.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I really
That's
enjoy
what I was
all
just
of
thinking
those.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Movie
one is my
reviews,
favorite? I'm not sure.
controversial.
Maybe Black Panther.
I don't remember much of that one.
That one was pretty fun.
Oh, dude.
Remember when we had Infinity War and we had 400 people on the episode?
You know what's my favorite?
my
It was like
goodness.
7 people.
I don't think I was on that one.
I have to go
yeah.
back and listen to that one.
One of my
I can't
favorite arguments
remember.
that we've had, because this one lasted like 2 or 3 episodes, was whether or not like a hard musical like guitar solo is more impressive than like
Oh no.
a simple song or like a huge
my
score. More impressive than
goodness.
like just a drum set and the whole musical score. Okay, I don't want to bring it back up.
I hated Luke for like 2 days.
I know. I think it's so funny because you're like, dude, I remember we had this argument for so long and you said that. And I knew immediately, well, it's me versus somebody. Like, I know it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that one, the Birdman one, the arguing about
yeah.
the CGI in Ready Player One.
Oh yeah.
Like all these ones with these arguments they were so fun.
I love, one of my friends always messages me. He's like, "Oh, so what's Luke wrong about this week?"
Hey,
I'm like,
whatever. So I think one of my favorite topics, I'm just thinking back to some of the older episodes. Do you guys remember when we talked? It's a good topic to actually bring up with people in general, but we talked about the best and the worst cereals and the best and the worst fast foods.
dude, yeah,
And
that
it's
was a while
such
ago.
It's such a dumb topic, but it's so funny how it's like we'll go to war about like whether or not Taco Bell is good or
Yeah.
Oh,
bad.
heck yeah, dude.
And then it's like,
yeah. You got
Burger King.
opinions.
Yeah, Burger King's at
Trash.
the bottom. We all agree on that one.
Burger is trash.
And then we had the chocolate Frosties versus vanilla Frosties
Yes,
debate.
oh, yeah.
That one was
That's a
funny
classic.
because we took that argument to social media and we like posted like us getting our Frosties, and
Frosties.
stuff.
Yeah, because we had the argument, and then we literally
Chocolate
posted
Frosties
videos
all
back
the
and
way.
forth of us like getting Frosties that were the flavor that was the opposing flavor to the other people. I remember Brent.
time.
This is one of the times he was just like, "If you like vanilla, you're a fucking monster."
Yes, facts.
Brent's is always the most
But I
extreme.
love Brent. Brent says what everyone's thinking.
If you do this,
And then-
you are the worst person in the world, basically.
And then the other stuff I remember is our "Would you rather" questions that we had.
Oh, yeah, dude, we
like
do that
the,
for,
Oh
like,
yeah, we
the
should bring
like,
that back.
a few
horse-sized
months.
T-Rexes or the T-Rex-sized duck or whatever it was.
That was duck-sized horses. Would you rather fight
Oh,
100
yes.
duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Yes.
And then we started talking
I
about
already
how
know
a
the
duck
answer.
was it's like a dragon.
Yeah.
You know,
Dragon-sized duck.
it's basically a dragon that makes a bunch of duck noises. You know, but just much lower.
I never thought
Just
about
take-
that. That makes a duck so much more horrifying.
Yeah, it's just a big bird.
It's a dragon. It's got a long neck. It's got sharp
that's,
teeth.
That's actually, yeah. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, nope. That's a hard nope from me, John.
What
Yeah.
else? Like, do we have any other things we got to remember? Because I'm going to actually step into the next topic. If not,
What was the first episode y'all did? Was it Golden Corral? Was that right?
yeah, because we just
It was
that was
Golden
one of
Corral
the
sucks.
topics. Yeah, because when we started this, yeah, no, when we started this podcast, I kind of had like a sales pitch of like, this is what we have to be able to do. And one of the things that I said is like, if you guys are going to do this do this podcast with me, we have to do 5 episodes, no exception. So I was like, we're going to do 1 episode. It's probably going to be horrible. We're going to be embarrassed and we're going to hate it. Doesn't matter. We're releasing it and we're doing 4 more no matter what. And so when we did the first episode, it was kind of like, screw it. It's probably going to be bad. So let's just talk about whatever we feel like talking about. And you can tell I know I pay attention to me because I'm me, right? But
Yeah.
one of you'll notice my mannerisms and the way that I host the podcast is completely different than how I host it now.
Yeah, I do think about like our growth, just like in
I'd have to
general.
listen back.
I know for me personally, there are certain things that I do now that listening back, like I thought to myself, like, oh, I'm never going to do this again, and I'm going to do this to sound better, and this was a bad idea, and
Right.
that's something that I always learn. I think we've all done that, if not just intuitively.
Yeah.
But from where you guys started, I mean, the quality overall, that's the one thing you can look on, at least, regardless of what you look at, the progress on the show quality-wise is amazing.
Well,
in my
I think
opinion, the progress is amazing.
if you look at like all of this, like from start to begin, or from beginning to end, like or beginning till now, it's like so I don't understand why okay, I'm going all over the place. I've had people on this podcast that record it and then they give me their audio and then they never listen to the episode. And
yeah, it's weird.
I just don't understand, because it's like you have the opportunity to hear yourself in a conversation. You get to hear yourself making an argument. You get to hear yourself telling a story. And there's so much that you can learn intuitively just by hearing it. Because you're like thinking, I'm hilarious. Let me tell this hilarious story. And no one laughs. And you're like, everyone sucks. Why didn't anyone laugh? And then you listen back to it. And you're like, oh yeah. Because the story sucked. It was horrible. That's why no one laughed.
I think this says something about us probably, but I think there's like a level of like narcissism you have to have to make something that you, and then immediately just like listen to yourself. Because I mean, like, we're all pretty much like artistic people. You make something, and then you're like, oh, I want to watch it, because you make what you want. Like when I make music, I listen to my own music all the time, because I make the kind of music that I like. So you make something, you're like, oh, like I said these funny things. I want to hear myself be funny because I think I'm hilarious. It's
Well,
that's like the same, like when my scripts for like my musicals and stuff, like when I'm watching our rehearsals, I laugh at so many things that no one else thinks is funny. I'm like, that joke is so funny, right? I'm
It's like that guy who wrote this is a genius.
Right.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like when I make a movie, if you ever have filmed and edited a movie, you will want to watch it 100 times. Just over and
you
over
want to see all
and
over
over
again.
again.
Yep.
Because you're like, I made this, and what else am I going to do with it but watch it? If it's like, if you built a guitar, you'd be like, well, all I want to do is play it, because it's my guitar. I built this.
Yeah. 100%.
And so with the movie, it's like, well, what else can you do with it? You can't do anything other than watch it. So you're just going to watch it.
Yeah, it's weird that some people, like, they would be on the show and not even listen to the episode they were on.
I know.
Much less the rest of it.
I'm like trying to slip it under the table with them. Like I'm like, it's really good if you're trying to like be better at making arguments. Because like maybe on the episode they didn't make good arguments, and I'm like, maybe if you listen, you can see why people didn't get what you were saying. But then they don't take the hint and they won't do it, so it doesn't matter.
Well, dude, I remember on your Colin Kaepernick episode, you had an ad that you posted for that episode. And do you remember that?
No.
So there's an ad that you posted, and it got like 60 likes because of the image for Colin Kaepernick. And then people were commenting saying, screw you, I hate you. Get this podcast out of Seattle. And you were like, dude, and you were like showing me the stats. And you were like, dude, they didn't listen to it. They're just commenting.
I know.
Like,
no, this is from Seattle.
The internet.
It's so funny because like I just don't care. It's like, this isn't for you. I don't care. Whatever. It's like people. I love this podcast. It's fun. I like do it for me. It's mine.
Exactly.
So something I also want to get into. This is something we did a little while ago. Actually, before we do that, I want to talk about some stats of the podcast.
Ooh.
We have a lot of different cities that we've been listened to in. That's not grammatically correct, but I don't care. Obviously, stuff like Newport News, Seattle, Suffolk, Mountain View, California, Hampton, Virginia Beach, Ashburn, Oakland, California, Colorado Springs, obviously, Richmond, Orlando, Orange Park, Tokyo, Amsterdam, Miami, Chesapeake, Redmond, Washington, Chicago, Charlotte, North Carolina, somewhere in Oregon,
Chicago?
Fairfax, Virginia, Tallahassee, Florida, Dallas, Orlando, Yorktown, Portsmouth, Norfolk, Atlanta. What else is a good one? Houston.
Nice.
Tacoma, New York City,
my family.
Indianapolis, Denver, St. Louis, Arlington, San Jose, Washington, D.C., and Brooklyn.
Dude,
and those are just
Brooklyn,
the top.
those are my peeps.
Those are just the top cities. So obviously they're all U.S. except for Tokyo. Most of them are
Amsterdam.
U.S. The top countries, U.S. number 1. Number 2 is United Kingdom. Number 3 is Japan. Number 4 is Netherlands. Number 5, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Turkey, France, and Australia. And those are just the top 10.
That's awesome.
Dude, we get listens. Like it's really crazy to look at this now.
Yeah.
For all you know, they didn't listen for very long.
Who cares?
But technically, somebody in those countries,
Someone clicked my face.
They were
Possibly listen
interested
to the
enough
episode.
to listen.
They clicked my face.
They clicked my face.
Feels good.
yeah. So that's good. Now I think we get more engagement than we've ever had before. So the podcast is like moving in a direction where people are like a part of this with us, with the jokes we've got going on, the inside jokes between us and the audience.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun. I think that just makes it feel like a little community as opposed to like I wouldn't want a giant podcast that's just overwhelming. It's like I like the little community of just the people that listen enjoy it, and we enjoy making it. And there you go.
That's all that
good.
matters.
At the end of the day.
So I've been talking a lot. I'm going to read some quotes with no context from the podcast. But before I do that, does anyone else have anything they want to say in regards to the podcast?
Well, I just want to say I just was like scrolling through the SoundCloud and stuff, and we have like a lot of views.
Yeah, we're doing all
But I
right.
didn't realize that before. Like I never like really look at the numbers. That was like, oh wow, I did not notice. So like that's
Yeah,
cool.
like,
Because
That's
SoundCloud counts all the counts from podcasts too, right?
Yeah,
Like
well, we also
from
have the
Apple
YouTube.
Podcasts.
We
I
have
don't know
we have the listens on SoundCloud, and then we have the listens from YouTube, and then we have like any of the clips and stuff that we get from Instagram or Facebook.
Dang.
But the majority of the listens are all through SoundCloud.
Real quick, before
Yeah,
you
we
go
do
into,
it.
before you go into the quotes, I just want to read. I like went back to look at the very first episodes. Our titles were so dramatic, and I love it.
Yeah,
It's
Lots
the
of
first one is-
exclamation points and
We had to
capitals.
change it. I had to change it for SEO reasons. It
The
wasn't
first
working.
one is Golden Corral sucks. Second one, Michael is off the podcast.
All
Third
caps.
one, let's roast. Let's. It's like let's is in normal letters. Let's roast Luke Roxwald. I remember because he kept
was a
making
good
fun
one.
of you the whole time.
And I
yeah.
kept getting
The
roasted on
great
my own
thing is
podcast.
before
Then nothing hasn't
Nothing
changed
has
though.
changed.
So
Well,
exactly
here's
how
the
they
thing.
I
changed.
still get roasted on my own podcast.
everyone, out of the whole group, everyone knows you better than they know anybody else. So like you're the one they have to make fun of,
That's
and
fine.
it's great.
I can handle it.
So
You do take it pretty well though.
Do you remember how we came up with the name? I feel like that would be a good story to tell.
Did we
By
just,
writing
don't know
down
this story.
hundreds and hundreds of names.
I know we went through like a bunch of different
decisions.
decisions.
Well, I know that we had the end of the year podcast party in Virginia. This was like the first
RIP.
30 episodes or so. And we had it at Michael's house, and we
Yeah.
had a deal that by the time this party was over, we had to have picked
that
a
was
new
fun.
title.
We had like 5 names, and then I think Luke just picked one out of them. And I think actually it's a pretty good name.
Well, we had stuff like The Toss Up, but I was like, that sounds like a romantic comedy.
Isn't that what throwing up means? I
And
tossed
then we
up.
had, and then we had, I think, what was some of those ones? We came up with some good some titles that wouldn't fit our podcast, but would be good for other podcasts.
Yeah. The toss up was good. I remember liking that one.
It just sounds like I just picture big red letters on a white box, and it's like a romantic raunchy comedy.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that one, and then we had.
There's another one I liked too.
Dang, I actually probably could look these up. Let me just see.
Yeah, because there's another
You
one
guys
I
talk
liked too.
while I'm doing this.
So
We're talking while he's doing this. Just kidding.
I don't know. They're really dramatic. I'm trying to remember a funny story from the old podcast. Remember John like almost died swimming
Here we go.
a mile in a river.
Oh yeah. What? Yeah, he
Go
told a
back
whole
to some
story about
guys.
like this shark. He was like bleeding in the water, and he was worried about sharks coming after him. All right, so
goodness.
we wanted something. We wanted a title that was like a whole hodgepodge of whatever we feel like doing, right? Like anything goes, right? And I kind of wanted it to be an idiom because I thought that would be kind of easy to remember. And so words we liked were like gang, grade, lead, pack, punch up, scene, lineup, rally, huddle, brew, coffee, rant, spirits, like alcohol, rhapsody, soapbox. Like we just came up with all of these words that like maybe we could make this work. And one of the funny titles that we came up with was "No, Luke, I am your podcaster." But we didn't use that one because that one's
Notice
stupid.
how no one laughed because it was so bad. It's just so bad.
I started with like, this is a funny one, and then no one laughed. I was like, yeah, that was stupid.
Yep, that's about right.
But we have a bunch of different names. We had burning the midnight brew to make a
I kinda
long
like that one.
to make a long story short,
Well,
to
good
make
thing
a
you weren't
long
there for the
story
voting
funny,
process.
not playing with a full deck, the whole 9 yards.
These are pretty
toss-up.
good.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as bad
I
as
like that
mine.
one.
Every
like that
cloud
one.
has a silver bullet. Everything but the kitchen sink. Method to the madness.
I like
No
that one
method to
too.
this madness. No dice. Off on the right foot. Off on the left foot. We're all on a different page. Raining cats and pods.
Oh.
When it rains, we podcast. And then we said we should call it No Luke, You're Wrong.
Yeah,
I like that one.
What? These are great.
Caught in the crossfire. Hashtag. There's a reason I didn't choose certain ones of these though. Like every single one has a reason. So like the whole 9 yards. I don't like yards. It makes me think football. Toss up makes me think football or some sort
Throwing
of
up.
comedy. Off on the right foot or off on the left foot sounds like politics.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like every cloud has a silver bullet sounds too edgy. It sounds like a movie title.
So these aren't like legit reasons. This is just personal preference.
These are why I thought I didn't like them. Why I was like they're all good. Like I'm actually really proud of them, but they didn't sound quite right, or they were too much, or I didn't know how to get a theme with them.
I do
So, like,
think No Luke, You're Wrong would be a good podcast. So like, I really want you to do a podcast of you just arguing with people.
I still think that podcast
Like people
should be
call
called.
in.
No, we said we should make a podcast where I just argue with people.
Oh yeah,
But,
And
like,
it's called.
who are
and
the
it's
people?
called. Hold up, and it's called Luke Rocks versus the Wold.
yeah, like Scott Pilgrim. That's awesome.
But like, who would you argue against?
But then let me get through some of these more titles. So then we had stuff like Caught in the Crossfire, Hash It Out, Dig Up the Hatchet, Hash It Out. So hash this out, hash it out. Then we like the word burning. We're like, can we use the word burn? Like slow burn, burn at the stake, burn your house down, burning bridges, crash and burn, burn your boats. And like we eventually, then these are the ones that Shayne liked the most apparently. The toss up, different pages, and but why though?
That's why.
Yeah. But why though?
How is those
so we-
spelled?
Just THOUGH.
THO.
Yeah, there it is.
But why though?
I like no method to this madness a lot, but
The toss up, I remember. Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
yeah, there's a lot of them. But I just felt we're all in the same boat was the best one. There was a lot of
Yeah.
branding stuff we could do.
Yeah,
And I like that. Like we can
pretty
argue, we can agree, we can talk politics, we can talk movies,
Yeah,
we
it makes
can
sense.
We find out
laugh,
if we're
talk,
in
tell
the same
stories.
boat.
It doesn't matter. But in the end, we're all in this together.
or we're
And that's
not.
just
Have
what
all
I
of
thought
us
was-
ever been in the same boat? Like, no.
Yes,
agreed?
a few times. Only a
I feel
few
like
times.
we are, and then I play devil's advocate.
Yeah,
Have any of us
Luke does
ever
do that a
agreed
lot.
ever on anything?
Yes.
Not,
We have.
I think sometimes we like say there's like one topic that we can agree maybe like 75%, but as soon as you like just delve deeply into any topic, we immediately part ways.
Like we all agreed that Joker was a good movie, right?
There you go.
See?
Dude, I haven't even seen it yet.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah,
Michael's
exactly.
gonna see it, and he's not gonna like it.
Right.
We'll have to have
sure.
a reply podcast.
You're off
episode.
the boat.
All right, so let's talk about some of the quotes from some
yeah,
of the
dude.
old episodes. Now,
Oh,
this is
gosh.
from our Twitter, but I stopped posting these because I didn't know if they were working as well. But if you guys really like these, let me know, and I'll keep posting them.
I'll
But
tweet them too.
here's some of the first quote. So, well, basically, I would tweet out random quotes from the podcast with no context. So the first one I'm going to read, all it says is, punch the puppy, Shayne.
That was the title of one of our episodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was from an episode where we had
I'm
to,
triggered and I'm having PTSD.
didn't we say you had to lick peanut butter off of a hobo's foot or punch a
yes.
puppy in the
Yes,
face?
and I was like, I will
Yeah, punch
hate
the
anyone
puppy.
who says punch the puppy. And
That's
I
a
remember
rather question, yeah.
Yeah, punch
me.
the puppy.
and then like,
Yeah.
yeah, because Shayne is like, I think I can't punch a puppy. And then, then Michael just goes,
doing that.
Shayne, punch the puppy.
I'm like, no.
I'm trying to help you.
Even though, you know what? Even though I did kind of punch a dog once. I might have kicked it. No, let me tell you what happened.
He told you to do.
Let me tell you what happened. So my dog, as crazy as he was in his youth, no, he ran out or whatever, and there were these two stray bulldogs or whatever, and they were trying to attack my dog. So I was like, nah, not today, and I kicked the dog in the face. Get away. I guess I did one time.
Rescued a dog.
Just do that, but the dog's a lot smaller.
That dog was huge. And my dog was pretty big.
So the next quote is so there's two people, so it's a response quote. So it's, I don't want to fail, so I won't try. And then someone responded, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And then the other person responded, yeah, but I also won't be tired.
That's you. So it was Brent, me, and Luke. Brent, me, Luke, right?
I don't know who that was. I never write down who says it. I just write the quote.
I'm pretty sure that was Brent, and then me, and then Luke.
And then it was this one. I know this one was me. I say that, and so now no one's gonna laugh. It said, getting stuck in a cave is like falling into a star.
It's like falling into a star.
It's just
so dramatically random.
You can't get. It's no use. There's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter. I'm explaining it. Doesn't matter.
No context.
So I know I said this, and I know this is Shayne responding to me. So I said, in North Korea, there's a giant triangle building that they just started building and then just stopped. They just failed. And then Shayne responds, you know what, Luke? They've been going through a lot of things, okay? And this one is
going through a lot of things.
Not everyone can build a triangle.
And then this one is angel food cake with no frosting is not a cake. That is a muffin.
Ooh,
Waffle House.
Yeah.
No, I know this one. I know who said this one. Waffle House is always there for you, and they'll never change their name to Burger House.
Oh my goodness!
Wasn't that you, Luke?
No, it was you.
IHOB. What a time, IHOB.
Hey guys, I have to log off. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, Nick.
I know.
No, we got more.
Okay, bye. No, we're not almost done.
Just send the audio,
Right,
Nick.
Thanks
Happy
so much
100th, guys.
for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
We
I love you all.
Stay safe.
Love you too.
In the weirdest way possible.
Let's give it up for Nick, everybody.
Everyone clap. Add applause noise here, Luke. Add applause noise.
Add applause.
Whenever
noise
I
here.
go somewhere with a guy friend and
Thank
we're
you.
paying,
Thank you.
they go,
All right, see you, Nick.
There's still applause.
Get out of here.
Still applause.
Every time I try to go somewhere with a guy friend and we have to pay, and they're like, "Are you guys together?" And I say, "No, only sexually." And
I say no, only sexually. I'm weak.
It's like we're separate, but the other way, we're together. So
Anyway, continue.
this was Michael's favorite quote, I think, ever. Cockroaches are like poop that run at you.
Yes.
That's gross, but it's true.
Because it's so true. Like, if you see a roach moving in your direction, you're just like,
Yes.
nah, no.
Yeah.
I know, it's just
Not
like,
happening.
why? It's not going to poison you. It's just the grossest
just
thing, and it runs
gross
at you,
and
runs up
gross.
your foot, you know?
That's amazing.
I don't know who this was. I have no idea what the context is, but all it is, why is my dog using his paws like hands?
Wait, say that again?
Why is my dog using his paws like hands?
It's so random. It must have been Shayne
I have
because he was a
no
dog.
idea. It does sound like a
No.
Shayne thing.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
I'm trying. I did think about. I'm like, would I say that about my dog? I don't think I would say that.
Does
your
your
dog
dog
have hands?
use his paws like hands?
I don't know. Let's keep going, though.
I mean, yeah, it probably was me. I think I'm the only one who had the dog.
Well,
At the
Being
time.
afraid. Oh,
Oh, this is
Brett didn't have a
got
dog when he was
but
on the podcast.
Yeah, he was on the podcast anymore. Okay, go ahead.
being afraid of a slug is like being afraid of a rock. And then this one, I was talking to this girl, and she was cute, funny, super attractive, and single. So that was a red flag.
So true.
That's Luke.
And
That
then,
was
yeah, no, I laugh at all my own jokes. Whatever. I think I quote myself the most on these. But it's because I told you guys if you send me them, I'll post them.
Yeah, you know,
I need to start doing that.
Find what you say is funny. There's nothing wrong with
If
that.
you guys send me, I still will post these.
Hey,
some of them are actually on our Instagram.
People listening, if you guys hear a funny quote that be taken out of context, send it to us, and whoever has the best one, you can be on the podcast or something.
Yeah, and you can send it to me.
Highlighted.
You can send it to the podcast Instagram. You can tweet it at me. Whatever you want to do, and I'll retweet it or post it up, whatever.
Yeah, give it to us.
If you guys think these are funny, then we can do them. So there's a lot more, but I was only able to grab a few, and these were some of the funny ones.
Those are good. Good times, man.
Oh, this said, oh, never mind. This one's me. I don't like that. It's embarrassing after a while. I'm like, oh, wait, I think this is funny, but that's actually true, like, for a lot of the stuff that I say. Like, if I see a Facebook status that I posted 5 years ago, I'm like, wow, I'm a funny guy.
Dude, yeah,
like,
I
who
think
said
I'm hilarious.
this? And it's me. I do. I think I laugh at my own jokes a lot.
That's the best way to live.
Me too. Yeah. You have to find yourself funny. If you don't find yourself funny, no one else is going to find you funny.
You got to find ways to entertain yourself.
Exactly.
So
trust me, as an only child, I have many ways to entertain myself.
So those are the quotes. We've had a successful podcast so far, and we're just gonna keep on trucking. I actually think we should probably wrap this episode up. We can talk a little bit more, but I don't think we need to get into the other topics. I think that this is
I feel good.
kind of a fun
good for the
special 100 episode.
One thing too that I'm glad that we've grown from in the podcast is that Michael used to be the problem child, and there was always something.
Recording every time.
Every time there was always something wrong. Either like wasn't recording or lost the recording.
Or I peed on the recording.
Or he peed on the recording.
I peed on the recording.
Or it stopped recording halfway through and he didn't say anything.
Or he sent me two separate audio recordings.
Yeah, so
there's all these different things.
Dude, it was a struggle. I was recording like an iPad and a phone at the same time. It was so ghetto. But now I'm a real adult with a laptop.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude, actually, do you remember before, at the beginning of episodes, we would all clap to sync everything?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and some people just couldn't clap, and we had to do the claps like 50,000 times.
No, and it would be like, someone thought it was funny to clap when someone else was supposed to clap.
It was John.
And it was very, very quick that I was like, hey, do not ever do that, because that is impossible to figure out, because I'm trying to sync the clips up, and now I don't know who it was. Because then there's two spikes, and it's possible to do that.
It was John LOLing in the background.
I know.
Yeah, so good job, Michael, for getting it together.
Thanks, man.
We're proud of you.
Long journey.
Let me see. I'm going to go to my the podcasts on here. I just want to look at them and just scroll through all of the 100 episodes that we have. It's so cool to look at, honestly. Actually, I think another episode I really liked was some of the ones where we just brought up interesting stuff. Like our free will versus determinism type stuff was really fun.
Yeah.
The karma episode. Oh, I don't remember this episode at all, but I know it was hilarious when we recorded it. I might go back and listen to it and hate it. But the Kanye West SNL Presidential Alert and Venom one. I don't remember why.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I had a lot to say about Kanye and Lil Peep.
I just remember it being super funny. Like, I remember Shayne saying something about Kanye's just dancing in his music video, living his best life or something, and it was the funniest thing.
Oh, dude, do you guys remember that one time? Like,
what a time.
I got dumped like right before the podcast. And then, didn't mention it the whole time. And, how's it going, man? Like, oh, terrible. I just got dumped. Like, why don't you tell us?
Oh, yeah, you told us on the episode. It happened live.
I don't remember that.
That was really early on, too.
No. So I dumped right before the podcast. And then I told you guys the next week.
Wasn't it like that random girl from, California or something?
No, that was a different girl. That was before that. But, yeah, I remember that. Was good times.
Remember when I got dumped and I was really sad? Good times.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we recorded an episode about it. And Luke use my emotions. He's like, Michael refuses to listen to this podcast ever again. Here it is, y'all. Listen to it. It's good marketing.
I know. I tried so many different marketing tricks to try and
I still haven't listened to that one. I listened to all of our podcasts except for that one.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the titles of some of our earlier ones. So like you said, Golden Corral sucks. Michael is off the podcast. And then, I think this group of people is stupid.
That was me.
Tommy Wiseau is 100% American. Playing the bass takes no talent. Oof.
So true.
Canadians are ruining the eclipse. We solve racism, and then John is going to get eaten by bull sharks. That is why you don't use leaves as currency.
Oh, guys, microwave dating.
Shayne.
That's the next one. That's
That
the
was
one
Shayne.
where I
That was
talked
me?
about it, by the way, if you want to hear it. My
Microwave
heartbreak.
dating, yep.
Anyway,
Here's
next
my
one.
favorite.
That was
Hot
me about
dogs.
the leaves.
Yeah, you said that because we were talking about how you can use gold as a currency because you can't really get rid of gold.
Yeah.
And then we talked about how funny it would be if leaves, like from the tree, were a currency and they would just dissolve and go away. And then Shayne, you just went, that's why you don't use leaves as currency.
You don't. It's a terrible idea.
And then it's this one. Hot dogs are sandwiches.
Dude, I remember that one. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was an argument. We had to I Googled
Pokemon,
that.
here's another title. Pokemon made Luke lose his best friend.
Yeah, I just read that a second ago. I want to listen to that one again. I don't remember that at all.
Vanilla Frosties versus Chocolate Frosties. That I know that's a good episode. I remember being
Climactic
funny.
episode. Peak.
Let's see.
Yeah, some of
Gunshots
these, like
over this
the
episode. Remember that time, like gunshots happened in my neighborhood, then my internet went out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except that episode didn't get much attention.
No.
But it was so
That's so
crazy.
sad.
He almost died live on the podcast.
Oh, this is the other one. Barbie is a hooker doll.
I don't remember that.
I think that one was really good if I remember correctly. I remember that one being really funny.
Oh, dude, would you date your bro's ex-girlfriend? That was just me and
Dude.
Luke talking together. That was a good one.
So many girls listened to that episode. I had like 4 girls message me about that episode.
People
because
message-
they
Go ahead.
I like when Ruji first found out about this podcast, like when I first told her about
man.
it, that was the first episode she went to, and I was like, she's not gonna want to talk to me anymore.
I remember like tons of girls were messaging me asking if they could be on the podcast and ask us questions, but they backed out.
What?
Yeah.
What? I didn't
Man.
know this.
Yeah, I told you
that would
about
have been fun. I
They
don't
didn't
remember.
want to. No, it's fine.
That would have been fun. We got to figure out more ways to collab. I need a marketing manager. Somebody who just gets us on other podcasts or something. Imagine if all 3 of us were on a different podcast.
Whoa.
We got to do another in-person podcast too.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
now that we're
That's
on the
fun. It's
coast.
so
We're on
fun.
the same coast.
Yeah.
We're all on the same coast.
But honestly, we should go to Florida because it's warm.
Yeah. Dude,
I'm down to go to Florida.
that'd be awesome.
Haven't been
We
there
should go to
in a long
Florida.
time.
I'm
Me
still
either.
scrolling
Actually,
through
since my
episodes.
family moved, I haven't been
Whoa,
there in
whoa, whoa!
years.
What's this? I just saw our second. Let's see.
And Luke lives in Miami. Yeah, we have to go to
Yeah, I
Florida.
gotta go to Miami. Our last episode in 2018. I know this was Luke. The title is "Fellowship of the Ring did not age well. Fight me. I will fight you, Luke."
Fight me.
Square up.
Did you
my good
listen to
sir.
that episode?
No,
Did you listen to it?
I was in it, but I didn't listen to it.
Okay.
Well, I listened. It says right here I have 6 minutes left, so listen to at least the first.
After
Hours.
a while, you were just like, I can't do this anymore.
That's probably why I stopped listening to it. When I
Dude,
was
it's
listening to it
rough.
last.
I went back and watched all 3 of them, and like, if you aren't watching with the right mindset, dude,
We gotta
they
end
didn't
this
age as
podcast
well.
soon before I start throwing my fists around through my computer.
It's like, what happened to Michael's computer? Well, he got mad at Luke, and Luke was too far away, and so that's what happened. Well, let's not end on that. Guys, this podcast has been great. I'm so glad that you guys have, like, you 2 have been in the podcast since we started. So this is like
Consistency is key.
2 years of just working on this thing and releasing episodes and advertising and marketing and coming up with ideas and consistently recording and messing up recordings and getting through them. And it's been great. I am so happy to like look through this list and just scroll and go, look at all these things that we made. That's great.
I think one of my favorite, I guess, parts about the podcast has been how we went from like people who didn't really know each other, and I'm not gonna lie, maybe for like the first month or so, I was probably really annoyed like all the time because I thought everyone was kind of annoying. Not like annoying like in a bad way, but annoying
Right.
as in like, I don't know these people, they're just annoying. But, you know, over time, you know, like we've actually become friends like outside of the podcast, like, you know, we went to Michael's wedding, and Brent sends pictures of his babies to us,
and
like that, and his dog. And it's like from going from people who didn't really know each other to like what we've been able to do throughout the couple of years. I think it's like pretty cool.
Yeah, so it is cool to think about. If you like you have friends that you see all the time, maybe you play like sports with. Shut up, Shayne. Or you play sports with them, or you play video games with them, or whatever, right? Like there's lots of different types of friends out there. And it's interesting how I felt like we didn't know each other super well, because I obviously knew you, Shayne, but we hadn't talked very much in like a very long time. I only met you, Michael, like twice.
Yeah.
And then I knew Brent and John really well, but that was because of college. But we kind of came into this podcast, and now I'm looking back on it going, well, yeah, we didn't know each other. Like, it just feels like we just know each other now. Like, we're just, like, we've known each other for so long, and it's like, oh, yeah, when we started this, we were, like, not really friends, and now I don't even really think about, like, oh, we're friends now, because we're just friends. We're all just hanging out in the same boat. But you know what I mean, right? It's really cool to see it evolve like that. And I think back to the first meeting we had when we were talking about who wants to be in this? And I posted up the Facebook status.
Meeting with like 25 people.
Yeah.
Because that was annoying.
My pitch meeting. I have that meeting recorded.
Like, I actually have it. No, that's good. That's a very archival stuff. That's good.
But it's like hidden. But the thing is, when I first posted on Facebook saying, hey, I want to do a podcast, who's interested? And you guys just happened to decide, like, I think I'm going to
can I ask a question about that? Were you like anxious about doing that? Like, what were your thoughts about creating this podcast and then going through, okay, I'm gonna like post this and I'm gonna ask people who wants to do it? Because you could have done that and everyone could have been like, no, that's stupid, Luke. Like, why would I want to be in your podcast?
Well, the beautiful thing about Facebook or something is you post something like that and no one responds, and you just delete it forever and just
true.
You just deny that you ever posted it.
It's like, what are you talking about? I didn't do that.
I took a risk. It could have gotten no attention at all, and that would have been embarrassing. But I guess enough people are into podcasts, and enough people don't do podcasts. Like, people are starting to do them more. But when we started, 2 years ago, I didn't have any friends that were doing a podcast. Well, actually, I take it back. I had one friend. But it was a risk. But I remember when so many people were interested, I was like, this is great. This could be really fun. And then I had to choose who would actually be on the podcast. And that I was nervous about. I was nervous about telling people, like, no.
Yeah.
You're not going to fit well. And I actually, like, I think I told you guys
I don't want to talk to you every week. Sorry.
I don't like your voice. I don't like hearing you. So.
R.I.P.
I don't think our listeners are going to like hearing you.
You don't really fit our demographic. And
and it's like, what's your demographic? People that like people that are funny. No, but actually, just to compliment you guys, like, I chose all the people on this podcast for a reason. Like, I was like, this person will add this to the podcast, and like, this person will add this to the podcast, and everyone had like their strengths and stuff that I thought that they would bring. And I really thought when we recorded that first episode, and I said this before we recorded the first episode, that I thought it was going to be horrible and awkward and rough. And then I remember finishing recording it and listening back to it and going, this is actually pretty good. Like, I like this. It didn't feel as awkward as I thought it was going to feel. And here we are. 100 episodes.
Here we are in the boat, rowing away.
Yep, we didn't sink.
Nope.
For 100 episodes.
There might be a light leak, but no, just kidding.
Then 101 comes and we all just sink. The whole podcast.
The Titanic. We ran into an iceberg.
All right, guys, that's it. That's all I want to say. Thank you for being on this episode or being on this podcast with me for so long. It's been great. It's been fun. I've been honored to have you guys here, and thanks for all your hard work. Thanks, everybody who's been listening. And
yes,
if you guys have anything you want to say before we do plugs, we can do that. Otherwise, we can jump in the plugs.
No, let's do it.
No, Shayne? Just, thanks for, giving us the opportunity to be on the podcast, and to 100 more episodes.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
To episode 200. Actually, episode 104 will be 2 years of episodes.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, just fun fact. even though we like missed some weeks, so it's not exactly 2 years, but it's 2 years worth of episodes.
They don't know that.
All right. Plugs. Michael, let's start with you.
Just follow me on the Instagram. Michael Dimas, MyKolDimas. That's me.
Woo. Shayne.
Yeah, same. Follow my Instagram, Mr. McCatty, MrMCCatty. And if you live in the Hampton Roads area, I'm doing a Halloween special.
Ooh.
I will take really dope pictures of you in your Halloween costume, and we can do like a whole epic type of shoot. And it's only $25, and you get like 5 really nice edited photos. It's a great deal. It's actually a steal. So if you're in the Hampton Roads area, just go on my Instagram, message me, and we can set something up.
The pictures are pretty dope. You can see them on his Instagram. They're sweet.
You can, which is Mr. McCatty, MrMCatty.
It's funny because when Michael said, just follow me on Instagram at Michael Dimas, and then Shayne goes, yeah, me too. Just follow me on there. And I was like,
I know.
Wait,
I felt what you just said. I felt that. I got that.
As you were saying it, that happens to me all the time. Like as I'm saying it, I'm like, this is a failure. Like I said this wrong. As it's flowing out, it's like wrong. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Luke Roxel. That's LukeRocks on Twitter and Instagram. I usually just post on Instagram, but I've been posting on Twitter a little bit more. So if you want to send me quotes, those are the 2 places to do it. You can also follow this podcast Instagram at WAITSB Podcasts.
Yeah.
100 episodes, guys. Thanks for being on this episode. Listeners, thanks for listening. We're going to wrap this one up. And outro.
Love you guys.